Hello you and welcome to the very first episode of the 𝗟𝗍𝗀𝘀𝐻, the show in which I invite your favourite theme park tycoon creators to basically yap on for a while. Okay, no, of course it's a little bit more nuanced than that, but seeing as this is the very first episode, I did just want to say to you people watching on YouTube that you can also watch this on Spotify if you'd like for absolutely free. So if you prefer Spotify to watch your podcast, well, there you go. Regardless, you can also check out the 𝗟𝗍𝗀𝘀𝐻's YouTube channel where I'll be posting clips, outtakes, and extra stuff that didn't make it in, so make sure to subscribe to that if you did enjoy this show. But without further ado, let's introduce our very first guest. So, our first ever guest we have on the show is Benny. You may know him from his gaming channel, Benji's Adventures, or his Photoshop channel, Benny Productions. He's amassed over 150 million views and 2.3 million subscribers. What a loser. Between his channels, and has single-handedly made every single Theme Park Tycoon 2 player obsessed with rocks. He's the Dutch man with a British accent who loves to slurp loudly into the microphone, and he's somehow, unfortunately, landed himself on the show today. Welcome to the show, Benny. How's it going, man?
Bloody lovely, man.
It's bloody lovely. That's good to hear. Well, so let's just get straight into it, Benny. So first of all, I do want to actually just talk about, of course, Benji's Adventures, because, I mean, that's where most people will probably know you from right here. Obviously, you know, seeing as this is a Theme Park Tycoon 2 channel. So I did just want to ask, like, how did you even get started and like even kind of get into Theme Park Tycoon 2 with Benji's Adventures?
Well, so I got started on YouTube through Photoshop. I made Photoshop edits, which I posted on Instagram, and I grew there, and I was like, I should probably make YouTube videos about it, because, you know, why not? And so I did that, and halfway through that, I thought maybe I should make a gaming channel as well. I just never knew what specifically to play. And one fateful day, I was searching on Roblox, and I found Theme Park Tycoon 2, and I played it, and I was like, it was kind of fun, actually. So, well, one thing led to another, and now we are here.
So it was literally just like, it wasn't like you were like, oh yeah, I'm going to make a Theme Park Tycoon 2 channel. It was just kind of, I want to make a gaming channel. I want to play games on YouTube, and you just kind of ended up with Theme Park Tycoon 2. So were you like playing the game that much before you started making videos on it, or was it just kind of like you found the game and was like, oh, this is actually quite fun, and decided to make videos on it? Like, what really happened there?
The latter.
The latter.
Well, I just enjoyed it, and I was like, the building could actually kind of add to the creativity side of YouTube I was doing. Yeah. So. And then when I actually did want to do other things as well, I couldn't because people expected me to just do Roblox. Yeah, well, I was going to say, it kind of goes like hand in hand with your Photoshop channel, because something that I definitely noted was in your first video that you did on Benny's Movie Park 1, is that you just, even though you hadn't really played the game much to that point, you definitely knew what you were doing. Like, I feel like because of your creative background, you definitely knew kind of what you were doing when it came to like creating things. So like, did it help you a lot with you know, your Photoshop channel and kind of having that background in creativity? I'm guessing it helped quite a bit. For sure, yeah. So basically, I knew what to do. I just didn't necessarily know how specifically, because that's like a technical thing of the game itself, of course. Exactly, yeah. I've done a little bit of 3D in the past, which it was all right. I liked it, but it's just like a thing of, I have so many things I like doing. I just can't do all of them. There's just too much. Of course, yeah. I have to choose. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's definitely helped, yeah, for sure. Because like, I feel like it's something that a lot of people struggle with in Theme Park Tycoon 2 is actually like, you know, they might have the idea like, oh, there might be a great coaster build, like, oh, I know how to build coasters, but a lot of people I feel do struggle with like just coming up with those ideas and kind of being like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do for this coaster, or even coming up with like backstories and stuff like that, which with your new Phoenix series, you've done a brilliant job with so far. Like, just kind of, well, it's kind of already written, isn't it? Because Phoenix was already a thing before. But you know what I mean? It kind of like with the full massive like story you've made with the new video on your channel, which I'm guessing took a long time. It took my actual soul, bro. It's not even funny anymore. It took weeks and weeks. But it's done now, so... Yeah, exactly. And the great thing is about it is that I don't think many people can say they've got such a massive storyline to, like, their ride in Theme Park Tycoon 2. Like, I know Fury... I know Fury is, like, kind of a separate thing, but it also, that story kind of leans into the ride then as well, doesn't it? Which I think sure. does help quite a lot.
But yeah, no, you did also mention as well about how now you've started making Theme Park Tycoon 2, you kind of can't change content, can you? Which is a fun thing to be stuck with, I guess.
Not ideal.
Yeah, because you originally made the channel in just the intent to just, oh, I'm just going to make gaming videos in general. But I do think, like, people think of you as Benny's Adventures is now a Theme Park Tycoon 2 channel. But
for sure.
Which, I mean, how do you feel about it?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because the initial idea was to have a channel that was a lot more laid back.
Yeah.
Right? So I could just do what I felt like doing.
Yeah.
But then this happened, and then once again, just like the Photoshop channel, I made a channel that is so specific that every time I do something different, people just hate it.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck to one thing. It's
exactly.
Crazy.
Which I feel like a lot of creators are doing the same thing on YouTube, where they're like stuck to one thing and they're like, I want to do different things, but it's really difficult to get an audience to actually just watch multiple things. Like, even if you start from the very start, there's obviously some things that are going to do better than other things. Like, and it kind of means that you're automatically just into a slot and you're like, well, guess this is the rest of my life now. I'm a Theme Park Tycoon 2 YouTuber, guys.
Literally, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But it's just no way really about it. But so what other games would you even do? Like, what else do you think you'd do if you had the choice on Benji's Adventures?
I have no idea.
I'm putting you on the spot here.
To be fair, a little bit. To be fair, I back then I did play a little bit more video games than now. I don't play video games at all apart from Roblox right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
First of all, I just don't have time for it, but also I'm not having the same fun doing it that I've had back then. So I don't know. Something's changed. I don't know what. Maybe just got older.
Okay, so yeah, just relating to Benji's Adventures as well. You've obviously got your main channel, Benny Productions, which is where you, of course, started. And you kind of have slowed down on that channel in the last couple of months, right? Like, you've kind of shifted the focus from that. But do you think you're going to ever go back to the channel? Like, is it something that you kind of are still wanting to pursue, or is it just you're going to stay with Theme Park Tycoon 2 mostly?
So that's interesting that you bring that up, because actually today, this very day, I made a video for my Roblox channel, which is going to go up Sunday, but that is way before this video comes out, in which I explain that I'm actually going to take a step back from my Roblox channel. I'm not going to leave. I'm just going to stop uploading as frequently.
Yeah.
I kind of explain why in that video too, but essentially I want to kind of go back to my main channel a bit more, because at the end of the day, it is still my child. It is what I have put so much time and effort in. The reason I stopped making frequent videos on there is because things just weren't going as well anymore. I still don't exactly know why. Maybe it's because just the overall interest has gone down, maybe because of AI. There's a bunch of factors that can help.
And I guess it's kind of hard to keep on coming up with new ideas. Like Photoshop, it's more of a tool, really. Like it's more like harder to come up with ideas for that, I guess, than it would be for something like Theme Park Tycoon 2, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I took a bit of a break there, but now I'm realizing I at least want to try and see what if I just kind of, come back to that and do some similar things I've done back then, just with a little bit more care into it and just a tad different, so it's not, the same old stuff, essentially. But I'm also realizing that my recent Roblox videos just aren't clicking as well as Benny's Movie Park 1, for example. And so, as a YouTuber, you know this probably.
Yeah.
Some things are really fun, but there's kind of a bar that if you cross, like, it needs to at least how
like it needs. There's like a cross point where like it becomes less fun because you're putting all this effort into something and not many people are caring about it as much. Like, is that what you mean? Yeah. Because
so there's like a balance that you need between liking it yourself and then actually profiting off of it.
Yeah, of course.
You need both of those. Obviously, the liking it yourself is more important. That is what YouTube has been about for me mostly. However, at the end of the day, it's also your job. And so you need to do things that earn you money.
Of course,
That's just the truth. And so my Roblox channel right now, I'm putting in so much effort and I'm not getting that back anymore at this moment. So that is why I'm taking a step back. I'm not going to do 3 videos a week anymore 2, maybe 1, depending on how that goes. And yeah, so that's kind of the situation at the moment.
Yeah, because I do feel like it's the thing that I feel a lot of people misunderstand, like viewers misunderstand a bit, is that obviously like creators enjoy playing the games they play, otherwise they wouldn't make an entire channel around it. But yeah, there is that certain like thing where, although it is fun, you are still doing it as a job. And realistically, if you weren't making videos on it, you probably wouldn't play the game as much. Like, I don't think people who don't make Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos do not like play as much as Theme Park Tycoon 2 YouTubers. As crazy as it does sound, I know it's crazy, guys. When something's your job, you do it a lot more. But like you know what I mean. A lot of people will hear it and be like, "Why are you making videos on it then if you're not enjoying it?" And it's not like you're not enjoying it. It's just that at a certain point, your time is valuable, and if you're spending loads of time on something which people aren't as liking as much as another thing, you're not going to spend more time on that, are you? You kind of need to think about it that way, I guess. But you do also have another channel, though, just quickly pivoting here, which is 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗀𝗀, which, by the way, I have to say, I absolutely love. I've never really had, like, I never really got into Lego as a child, mainly because it's fucking expensive. But
it sure is.
I absolutely love like your Lego videos and stuff like that. I just wanted to ask a bit about it. Like, how did it even come around?
Well, it's pretty simple. Basically, I've just always wanted to try and make Lego reviews. First of all, because I like Lego so much. I've liked it since I was very small. That never really went away. And so I thought, I just want to try it. Because I felt like I have this terrible trait where I think I can make like a bunch of different content, and so I need to kind of prove to myself that I can. I then have to do it. Yeah. But it's just really just like a passion project. I just love Lego and I like making videos, and I put them together, and then I was like, here's 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘀𝘁. So it is just a fun thing I do on the side.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like as well, just like the Lego scene in terms of YouTubers, it is so oversaturated as well, isn't it? With a lot of generic Lego YouTubers where they're just like the overhype, like kind of Mr. Beastification of the videos, and it's 100%. Just like it's very refreshing to see something that's got a bit more work put into it in Lego. Because from the other Lego channels that I've watched, bar a couple, there is definitely some good ones. Like, and of course, though, because of that, it is a little bit harder to break into it, though, isn't it? Because how do you stand out against all these fucking, the
biggest problem, right, is that a bunch of these big guys have links to people that somehow get these sets like months in advance before they even come out. And what? How? So they're always going to be ahead of me, and they're going to get all the views. I mean, and it makes sense, and it's good that they do that, and they should do it. I would do it, but I just don't have that, and so I'm always going to be the last guy at the party.
Yeah, exactly. And
so
it's also that
production.
Well, I was about to say, it's also that you spend a lot more time on like the actual production value of videos. So I feel like even if you did have that, you wouldn't be first. And it's this like shitty rat race to be like, I'm going to be the first. It's the same with like game reviewers. It's the same with all like just people on the internet, media creators on the internet, content creators, whatever you want to call them. It's like this shitty rat race to be the first person to upload their thing. So then, look, guys, I get all the views. It does happen a lot, and it's just kind of it does kind of remove creativity, because you're like, well, I need to be first, like, sort of thing.
True, yeah. Well, it is basically my production quality. That is the special thing about my channel, and everything else is, I mean, I'm not a better reviewer than anyone else. I don't say much different things. I just say what I think, and that's it. So it's more the video itself that is the eye-catching thing, and that is what I need to use. That is like the unique thing. So that is what people are going to be subscribing for.
Yeah. I did want to actually ask about like your production value, because I mean it's obvious to anyone watching your videos that you do have some really, really nice editing on videos, and I'm very envious, first of all, and second of all, how the fuck do you do it? I don't understand. Like
that's the thing, bro. Like people ask me this all the time. And I always give them the same answer. I don't know. And they ask me like, how did you learn it? And how do you know what to do and how to do it? And I'm just like, I do what I think would be nice. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to make a video about this. how would I present that? Okay, I'm gonna do it like this, that. So I record, and then I put all of that together in a nice chronological order. And then I'm just like, okay, so now I'm gonna spice this the hell up and see how I can make this the most flashy thing ever. But I don't know how I come to conclusions. I've been trying to explain this to people. It's the reason why I don't make tutorials on Photoshop either. Because I don't know why I make the decisions I do. I do them because I think it looks nice, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, But I just...
Oh, it's so bad.
It's just like, because how do you even get into like After Effects? Because the level of shit you do in After Effects, it is pretty insane. Like, is there any like inspiration or just kind of like a starting point that you kind of switched and was like, now I'm gonna pursue this a bit more? Like, is anything that kind of got you to that?
Very, very funny story is I actually started editing photos.
Right. In After Effects. Oh god. Oh no.
Oh, it was so bad, bro.
Benny.
But then, because I knew how After Effects worked.
And
so there are some useful tools in there that are also in Photoshop. I just didn't have Photoshop at the time. So, but that is why I realized I might as well use this very overpowered software for videos that really don't need it.
Yeah.
But it would be nice. It's same as the Lego videos. They don't need to be so over edited, but it's nice. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I kind of feel like with just with like the level of editing in your videos, it is really, really obviously cool. But with Photoshop, it's almost not expected. But you when you click on a Photoshop video, you expect to see like really cool stuff, like, because the person who's making that Photoshop video obviously has skill in Photoshop, obviously knows what they're doing. Like, if you're going to be a Photoshop YouTuber, you kind of have to know what you're doing in terms of like just making things look sexy.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But
well
like
said.
when you kind of came over to Theme Park Tycoon 2, I remember it being a little bit like of a shock, because nobody expects a Theme Park Tycoon 2 YouTuber to have the production level that you do on your videos. Because, for example,
I hold back so much.
Yeah.
I hold back so much on my gaming channel.
Yeah, I know, because, well, otherwise you'd kind of be going insane.
It'll be one video a week.
Exactly, yeah.
At most, because it would just take so long.
And also because you're not expected as much to have like stupidly high production quality on a gaming channel. I don't think there'd be much point. Like, at a certain point, you kind of get diminishing results, don't you, of just people not being bothered as much because they're not clicking on a Photoshop video, they're clicking on a Theme Park Tycoon 2 video. But, like, even, you know, most Theme Park Tycoon 2 YouTubers, like Timon, for example, sorry to call you out here, Timon, but, like, Timon, for example, because I know he won't mind me saying, like, he only started, like, trying to implement stuff like J-cuts into his videos recently in, like, the last couple of months. Whereas when you started, you had, like, these very fancy, like, sort of title cards, if you want to call them that, and like very fancy animations
graphics and stuff.
Exactly, and like your video structure was very good because, of course, you know a lot about YouTube. Surprisingly,
I started already.
Yeah, surprisingly, someone with 2 million subscribers knows a bit about YouTube. But yeah, it was kind of like, holy shit. Oh no, we're all fucked. When you came into Theme Park Tycoon 2, because I very distinctly remember it, and you know, it has, for example, me, like, I feel like it has inspired me to make better videos because, well, what's the point in making videos like I used to when you can just watch Benny's videos? Setting the bar too high, Benny. You're setting the bar too high.
I'm sorry.
I can't say. Obviously, that was with Benny's Movie Part 1 as well, which I feel like the entire Theme Park Tycoon 2 community kind of look at with like rose-tinted glasses, because not only was it in what I'd say is the best year for Theme Park Tycoon 2, but it was also like the series, the build series that everybody was watching. Because, well, it was just very good, wasn't it? And like I say, when you join the Theme Park community, no one was making videos to that level, and a lot of people were watching it. And I just wanted to ask, like, how was it creating the Benny's Movie Part 1? Like, how did it actually kind of feel? Because, like I say, you were getting a lot of attention to that series, of course.
Well, I was very oblivious to the whole community at the time. I had no idea. I just barged in like a maniac and just basically instantly become one of the biggest channels within that community. I didn't know Like, I only found out later. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I actually had an impact here. So, I mean, I was used to views already, but then it was nice to do something a little bit more laid back and a little bit more, you know, random, and to see that do really well too. I was just really confused as to where all the viewers came from, because I knew that my Photoshop viewers definitely weren't interested in this stuff, most of all. Because most of my viewer base at that time was mostly in India, and they are very much into Photoshop, but they're not really into this sort of stuff. So I was like, I mean, I was happy that it went so well, because I was also a bit confused. Like, how actually?
Yeah.
How does this work?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and I mean, I think most of that's just because, like, the Theme Park Tycoon 2 community is very unsaturated. Like, the opposite of what we're talking about with the Lego community. Yeah. You've only really got, like, even now, you've got, like, you, 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗲, 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗀 doesn't even really make videos anymore. I've only just started making videos again and just taken like a fucking 6-month hiatus. Like, and then you've got like maybe 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗀, and then that's really the main creators. And even then, you, 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝘁𝗀, and 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝘁 are just miles ahead in subscribers compared to every other creator. Like, you and 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝘁𝗀 and 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁 are over 100k. Then the next one under that is like, I think it is me. Or no, it's 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗁. With which is like 20k subs. It's like a fifth of the size. So
it's like a big gap.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Fair, it is a very niche game though.
Exactly. Like, yeah.
It's so specific.
Yeah.
It's actually a miracle that it's still got such a big fan base at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Like. Yeah. But it kind of like if you look at any other community, even niche communities, though, I feel there's normally a lot more bigger channels, which kind of makes it very easy to break into the community. Especially like when you joined. What I was just gonna say as well. Now there's even more channels, but back then, literally the biggest channel was 𝗟𝗏𝘀𝘁𝗁 with like maybe 20,000 subscribers. I don't even know if it was even that when you joined. Like, it was such a small community on YouTube, but such a large community in Theme Park Tycoon 2, which I think just made it was just that perfect spark that kind of set your channel off. And then obviously, I mean, Benny's movie part 1 was also very good, and it means that like Benny, the movie part, people can go, look, it's Kong. I know Kong. Well, hey, I'm gonna click on this video. But yeah, I have a feeling that was part of it. But in terms of the actual theme park community, Theme Park Tycoon 2 community, I keep on saying theme park community, but Theme Park Tycoon 2 community. Do you feel like it's kind of starting to like kind of dwell up a bit, like kind of get a bit smaller these days? Like, kind of, I don't know. Do you feel like the game's kind of dying off a little bit?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least interest in the game, for sure.
Yeah.
It seems, which I think is what is happening with my videos too, is that it is so much of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's not the same enough for you to feel like nostalgic about it, because it's just a little bit different, but it is not different enough to be considered a new thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
which is why I've been thinking actually about potentially making another Benny's Movie Park. But instead of Benny's Movie Park 3, I could make Benny's Movie Park Remastered, where I take the original themes, so Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, and make a new park with a new layout, new ideas, new everything, just better, obviously. To kind of get that sense of nostalgia back, because I'm a big simp for that sort of stuff. I just love to go back and look at things that were like good times, you know. I love that sort of stuff. So I'm considering doing that.
Yeah.
Because of the reason that it is not as interesting anymore otherwise.
I think also what's kind of contributed to the community kind of it feels kind of smaller on YouTube, because I feel like there's been, you know how there's like the Mr. Beastification of YouTube. I feel like there's the Bennyification of the Theme Park Tycoon 2. Like,
I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Can't believe you've done this, Benny. No. But it's kind of like. The sort of build videos that you do now, you have so many other channels that kind of have copied that. Because, of course, Benny's Movie Part 1 and Benny's Movie Part 2, and, of course, your other series that you've worked on, have just done so well that people are like, oh, I'm going to do that now. And I feel like there's 1,000,001 channels that are doing the same sort of thing, which I feel like it does kind of contribute to the feeling of like, oh, this is kind of getting a bit old now. Like, there's so many build series similar to yours. Like I do remember a year ago in the Theme Park Tycoon 2 community, you used to have a lot more different types of build videos. You used to have some people doing like time lapses, some people just doing like update videos like Fad Bob. But these days, if you're doing a building your park series, you're doing one like Benny. That is kind of like it's kind of turned into that, hasn't it? And then you've also got like the 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗀𝗀 of YouTube as well, with like this or like timeification. I don't know. There's a lot of like people that I just kind of seen bigger creators going like, oh yeah, they're doing this, I'm just gonna copy it. And I do feel like it's just ended up with a lot of creators feeling the exact same as each other. Like I don't know. I don't know if you have that feeling too, but
no, definitely. Yeah,
it's like Theme Park Tycoon 2 has just kind of become very generic, very like unified in content, which kind of it makes it a bit boring, I guess. But I don't know, it kind of is what it is. But one thing that you did do on your channel, which I really liked, although I'm sure it took you a shit ton of time to do, was actually the 1 minute, 10 minute unlimited time.
Yeah.
A video that you did, which did very, very well, didn't it?
Let me have a look, actually, because I don't remember. I do remember that not doing very well at first. Like, at first, it was really just a big drag.
Right, yeah,
now it's nearly got 100K views now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, looking back, that was a good decision, indeed. But it did take too long.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's yes. The thing, like... With Timon's 1 minute, 10 minute, 1 hour videos that he does, he literally just like builds. It takes him an hour and a half to record, even if that, because, you know, whereas you, how long did it take you to actually record that unlimited time section?
The last one was 12 hours.
Oh, God. Yeah, that is quite long. But I mean, it was such a good video, but it's kind of like it's kind of hit that it's kind of hit that point again, though, isn't it? Where people stop. Like at a certain point, you're doing too much work for one video to be worth it. Like you kind of hit the roof of that idea. I feel like
I had this idea to make one video in which I make an entire theme park in 24 hours, like filling the whole plot.
Yeah.
So I had that idea. I don't know if I'm actually gonna do that, but that could be that kind of video where it's a lot longer, it's a lot bigger, it's more, you know, ambitious, that sort of stuff. So I might actually try that.
That would be pretty cool. And well, I mean, to be fair though, you saw how my 24-hour, I just built a car park and an entrance, Benny.
Yeah, no, that's not going to be my my strategy. But
what do you mean? My car park was amazing, Benny. My car. Oh God. Okay. But no, let's just switch it up a little bit right here though, because I just want to like. I want to talk about kind of theme parks just as a whole, because you said you weren't really like into Theme Park Tycoon 2 before you even started making Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos, right? Like you hadn't played too much. So I did actually want to ask about like just theme parks in general, because would you really class yourself as like a theme park enthusiast?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So have you kind of fallen into that since you started making Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos, or have you just kind of always had an interest in theme parks?
I've always had an interest, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't like I am more like I'm traveling further for theme parks. I didn't often leave the country. I mean, I've been to Germany a few times, but
not to go to a theme park.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
it has kind of amplified my love for it, but I've always been very much in like Yeah.
Because I mean, I kind of was the same, to be honest. Like I did the exact same thing as you. I didn't mean to make Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos. It was just that my Theme Park Tycoon 2 video that I randomly did out of like the 5 or 6 games I was playing at the time just did really well. And I was like, well, time to make more Theme Park Tycoon 2 videos.
There it is.
And like until like half a year after I started doing YouTube, I hadn't even been to a proper theme park. But I feel like once you actually go to more theme parks, especially really good ones, you kind of, if you already have that interest, you kind of fall in love with them a bit more and kind of actually want to go to more theme parks and kind of just fall into the community.
The feeling of sitting in a coaster for the first time, you haven't.
Exactly. Oh, it was amazing, because just for a bit of context here, me, Benny, and Timon went round Europe, Benny came round some of Europe to a bunch of new theme parks, and it was obviously like the first time you'd been to Phantasialand, right? And just walking
Darren,
into Phantasialand. Oh.
Amazing stuff. and Black Mamba was closed.
Yeah, it was.
But then recently I did get on it. That was great.
Oh yeah, no, it's such a good ride, but we
lapped it 3 times.
Well, yeah, because we should also talk about how we went on Taron about like 12.
Oh yeah, like 7 times.
Yeah, a ridiculous amount of times.
It was insane.
It was chucking it out.
So many times I actually got nauseous a little bit.
Yeah, it was. But oh my god, it was so good. It was definitely one of the highlights of the trip. But I was just gonna say, like, walking into. Oh, there it goes again.
Bloody hell, mate.
Like, just. There's just a feeling of walking into Phantasialand for the first time, or just walking into like the area for Taron or like Fly for the first time. It is very, very, very cool. Like, and of course, riding those coasters. Else. Like, I remember you saying, like, on the morning, you were like, holy shit.
Yeah, we hadn't even gotten to the good part. Like, I was just like in the Chinese area.
Yeah, exactly. The oldest part of the park, and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah, the oldest parts.
Holy shit, this is amazing.
Crazy.
Although, speaking of the Chinese area, not sure about the rides in the Chinese area.
Good point. Those are not everything. But
I just
it's
like,
fine. The food was great in the Chinese area.
The food was really good. The rides,
yeah.
Like I genuinely I went to Phantasialand with another friend a couple of weeks or months ago. I don't know now. I went there and I was telling her like, oh, it sucks. That ride sucks. And she's like, no, I want to go on it though. I still want to go on it. Like on both the Madhouse and the Dark ride. And we genuinely went on it and she was very excited. She was like, oh, this looks so cool. Came off of it. I've never seen someone look so depressed in my life.
No, honestly, it is depressing. Stuff. It's not. It's not great.
It's terrible. But anyway, let's move on from Phantasialand here. I did want to just ask though, what is your favorite ride you've ever been on? Then what's your favorite roller coaster?
I think Taron.
Yeah, fair enough.
I love that thing.
We've got to get you on Ride to Happiness one day though, Benny.
Yeah. Everybody keeps telling me that. I must say though, I also really love Shambhala.
Yeah.
In Port Aventura. It's amazing.
And Port Aventura, it's like what, like your like I don't know what the right word for it is off the top of my head, but like kind of your park that you love, like just the kind of.
I have a very big soft spot for it.
Like you have a big soft spot for it. That's the right word. Yes. Absolutely. Like you talk about it quite a lot.
I fell in love with it when I was there.
Yeah. When was the first time you actually went to that park?
It was not past summer, but the one before. So 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, because I was just gonna say, like, a lot of people that like have a park that they really like, I feel they kind of is like the park they went to as a child. But the park you went to as a child was like Efteling, or like what was the park you?
Efteling and Walibi. Yeah, but I've always loved Walibi more than Efteling.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's criminal.
I mean, that changed. Like, it kind of changed because Efteling is obviously a lot nicer to look at, and I started appreciating that much more as I grew older. So when I was young, I just cared about cool coasters and fast. And so then Walibi is a bit of a better spot. But what you explained just now with being a kid and then going to a theme park for the first time, I do have that experience with a ride in Walibi, like Express.
Yeah, of course.
That was the first coaster I ever been on, like the first actual coaster. So that will always... It won't be objectively my favorite, but it will always be the one I first think of when someone says, what's your favorite coaster?
I'm
like, yes. Oh, no, well, not actually, but it was nice.
It's just... There it goes again. That was like cinematic how it just slid off again. Bro. I definitely know what you mean. Like... It's just
have you ever been to Port Aventura?
I unfortunately haven't. I've always seen Port Aventura because, like, as a child, we used to go to Mallorca, but Mallorca obviously isn't mainland Spain. But it was kind of always advertised like, oh, Port Aventura, look, this park's here. And of course, I've heard a lot about it and always wanted to go, but I've just never actually been to mainland Spain, so I've never actually gotten the chance to. So I can't really, like, speak on how good of a park
bangers,
is,
bro.
But I've
there's
heard
so many bangers in that park. We've got Red Forest. Red Forest is just a beast. It's just like the most intense thing I've ever been on. You've got Furious Baco, which is painful as hell, but the launch is amazing. You've got Shambhala and Dragon Khan. Those are both just perfect. Like B&M
of course.
Perfection. There's just so many great things over there.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to go one day. I'll have to go at some point, but I don't know. It's just, for me though, like I can't imagine a park better than Phantasialand. Like I can't.
Well, I mean, Phantasialand is nicer, yeah.
Yeah, it's nicer, but is it a better theme park though? Because this is the thing.
I think so.
I'd say Europa Park is a better theme park than Phantasialand.
I haven't been there. I haven't been to Europa Park.
You haven't been to Europa. See, I'd say it's a better theme park, but a better experience is Phantasialand. Like,
I guess that's the way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Phantasialand is more of an experience.
Yeah, you kind of just constantly immersed in just beautiful scenery everywhere. Like. Yeah. Europa Park, you don't have that. Europa Park feels more like a theme park. Phantasialand doesn't even feel like a theme park. You just feel like you're on another planet. It's crazy.
Genuinely, yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't really...
No, I get what you mean.
Yeah. It's like Europa Park has a lot more rides as well, and it just feels like you're actually in a theme park, whereas Phantasialand, you've only got 2 good rides, but those two rides are... 3 good rides. Sorry, 3 good rides. Black Mamba. But
I still haven't been on Chiapas, so I don't know if the log flume...
Oh,
so I don't know if that's good.
I've got a fun story about this, actually. So, the same friend that I went with, that I was talking about before, she insisted we went on Chiapas. It was 1 degree, a single degree Celsius, and 9 a.m. in the morning, and she insisted on going on it. So we actually went on the ride. It is a really good ride, just for the record. It's a stupidly good ride. I mean, it's Phantasialand, of course it is. But holy shit, my fucking entire body was frozen over. I have never been more miserable in my entire life. Getting off of that ride,
I don't see the problem, bro. Seems like a great time.
It was just like, you know that River Quest, that really...
Yeah.
It was like that, but 1,000 times worse because it wasn't hot. Like, when we went to Phantasialand, at least it was nice and warm. I came off of that in 1 degree weather, and it was the air was somehow colder than the water, and it was painful. Yep. And that was the best thing as well. Every single dryer in the entire park was out of order. What the fuck?
Oh, no, dude, I was there just recently with the Wintertraum. And it was actually open.
Yeah.
It was open, but it was minus 3 degrees.
Oh my God.
I was like, nah.
Yeah, no. And you will die. You will die. Yeah, I'm
Too bad, though.
I'm just glad River Quest was closed when we went, because I couldn't.
Yeah, it was closed as well.
I couldn't deal with it. I don't know what they're doing with that ride, but oh well, it's fucked. But yeah, no, it is such a good ride, and so is Black Mamba. I love just the entire park. We've gone back into talking about Phantasialand again, though. It's just that it's such a good park, isn't it? Like, I don't know.
There's just too much to talk about.
Exactly. Like, the shows are amazing. The rides are amazing. Like, we haven't even spoken about the shows, and it's so good. But this episode is not about Phantasialand. It's about you, Benny. So let's switch up topic.
Lovely.
So yeah, just before we move back to like theme park tie-in 2, I did just want to ask, like, is there any park or coaster that you really want to go to still?
Oh, for sure. Multiple, actually.
Yeah.
There's 2 parks I specifically really want to go to. One is Universal Studios, and the other is Cedar Point.
Right. Okay.
Because in Cedar Point you've got Millennium Force, Steel Vengeance, Maverick. I need to go there.
My problem with Cedar Point, though, is that you kind of already have, like, Untamed. That's an RMC. Then you've got Silver...
There's like a mini Steve.
Yeah, but you've got Silver Star at Europa Park, which is a hyper, but you've not been on that, of course, so actually that's not relevant to you. But the thing with Cedar Point is that there's all the same coasters across Europe, but better themed. It's my problem with Cedar Point.
Not as big, though.
They're not as big,
not as high.
No, for God's sake. They're not as big, though, Joshua. They're better when they're bigger.
No, but bro, you can't just... Millennium Force, bro, is so high, and Steve is so high, and it's all just so insane.
Yeah,
I feel like it's just like the I mean, wasn't it called like the roller coaster capital of the world?
Yeah, it is.
Because there's like 26 coasters or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But just like for me, someone who's like more into the theming and experiencing a ride, I don't know. It's not like Thomas. You know what is though? Actually, Knott's Berry Farm. Knott's Berry Farm. I would actually like to go to because it's kind of like Cedar Point, but better themed. I guess, but it's just not as big. I know, like, oh, the coasters aren't as big, but I don't know. It's like,
no, that's kind of the thing. Like what you say about theming. Like for the theming, that's why I want to go to Universal, because Universal,
exactly.
It has a bunch of movies that I'm really into, and I need to go there. Like the motorbike adventure and Velocicoaster, dude.
Yeah, of course.
I need to go on that.
yeah. Of course.
That looks great, but then the thrill side of me really wants to go to Cedar Point.
Yeah, that's
and
fair
King's
enough.
Dominion and stuff, dude. I want to go on Intimidator 305 so bad.
Yeah. That's fair. Actually,
I want to know what it's like.
I
need to know.
yeah. Well, just like it's kind of like Ride to Happiness, because I told Timon, like, after we rode Tower, I was like, there's no way any ride is going to be better than this. Ride to Happiness is not going to be better because it's not themed well, but I still prefer it. I don't know why. Like, it's just such a good ride. So I guess there is that kind of like debate of, well, yeah, it's not as themed well, but the thrill side of me loves it. I definitely see where you're coming from, yeah. But also, America sucks. So
I mean, arguably, yeah.
No. But is there any other parks in particular that you want to go to then as well? Like, would you like to go to Disneyland just for like the Star Wars area? That's a question. No, not a fan.
I don't want to give Disney more money than they deserve.
You know what that is? That's a W. That is, Benny. That's a W. yeah.
No,
okay.
I've fallen out of love with Disney like so hard.
Yeah,
in the past years. Crazy.
Yeah, that is.
So no, I don't care.
To be fair, that's fair.
Care.
Although it does look like a good ride. I don't know.
It's sure. It looks like a good ride, but at the same time, it's based on the sequels.
Exactly, yeah. And as like a Star Wars super fan, I feel like it's kind of insulting in a way. Like
well, almost like kind of, yeah, because they decided, all right, we're gonna make a Star Wars area in our park, which is a great idea. But then you decide to do it based on the least iconic bunch of the movies.
Yeah.
Like, what? Make Tatooine, bro. Make Endor.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Hoth. Make the popular stuff, not this. I mean, I'm sure it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's just not for me.
That's fair enough. Yeah. And I do have a question, right? In terms of why'd you start giggling? I have a question. So right. We've not actually planned this. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but in the UK, if you come to the UK, is there one ride in the UK that you really want to go on?
Hyperia, if it's done, finished in time.
Actually, that's fair. I was expecting you to say the Smiler, but that is actually fair enough.
That too, yeah. And well, I'm more just curious about the Smiler.
Yeah.
And there's a really specific one which you're going to be like, what?
Yeah, go on.
Because it's probably not even that great. But I have seen like an hour-long video about the Saw ride in
oh, Benny, oh no. Oh no. Benny.
What's the park called?
In Fort Park, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got bad news though.
Okay, here's the thing. I know it's going to be probably just bad, right? Because it's like what's the coaster type?
It's a Gerstlauer Infinity, I think, if that's right.
Well, anyway, but I've just seen a lot of backstory about how it was built and everything, and I'm just, it would be nice to see. Like, I've spent so much time looking at it on a screen that it would be fun to see in real life.
That's fair enough.
Just be like, oh, well, there it actually is.
There is one unfortunate thing about Saw though. It's kind of gotten the nickname the Ball Destroyer.
I wonder why.
So there's like the last couple like there's a break run, like a mid-course break run, and then after that there's a dip, and it just thrusts your entire body into the restraints, and it's a Gerstlauer restraint, so it's not very comfortable. It's kind of just the most pain. It is possibly the most painful ride. I've been on a coaster that is over 125 years old, and that coaster was smoother than that one fucking job. I don't know what Gerstlauer were thinking. I don't know.
Damn.
It just thrusts your entire body into the restraint, including your ball sack. I'm sure it's fine as a woman, as a man. Oh God. Oh, Nelly, it's scary. It's terrifying.
Is this called a Eurofighter?
A Eurofighter, that's it. It's not an infinity. I think 𝗟𝗫 is an infinity. I'm sure someone's gonna be like, actually, they're gonna be typing in the comments. Actually, Joshua, the 𝗟𝗫 is not an infinity. But I think they're very similar coasters anyway. And the thing is for me as well is because I've been on 𝗟𝗫. Saul's just kind of a bit shit because of that. And also because me and Timon went to this park in Germany, which unfortunately you weren't there for. It was like this tiny little German park. I can't remember the name of it. Is it 𝗟𝗫? Is that it?
Tripsdrill?
Oh, no, it might be Tripsdrill. What's 𝗟𝗫? I think that's Finnish. It's a different area. But yeah, because that had just a better version of Saw basically, and it was a launched one as well. It was smooth. It was launched, and it was just better than Saw. I don't know what what Saw is, but to be fair, I see what you mean. Like, because when you watch videos about something, you're like, oh, okay, this actually looks really cool. I'm just saying, maybe don't keep your high.
No, I know it's gonna be bad.
yeah. Fair enough.
It's just like it's fun to see, especially because I've never been in England before, so it's just fun.
I've got a fun thing to do right here, guys. Okay, so if you're still watching to this point in the video, I'd like you to comment down below. Do you think if Benny came to the UK, would he just fit in? Do you think people would think he's actually British? Because we were talking about this on the trip. No, but I genuinely think with just like your normal speaking accent, I think you would actually just like. I have a feeling. I don't know. Comment down below because I think yes.
If I force it, maybe. But my normal accent isn't really all that British, is it? I mean, if I Benny, I talk a bit like that. I
that is not British.
Pretty well.
See, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. That's like a stereotype, but like British people, there's so many different accents. Like literally, if I drive genuinely 5 minutes down the road, there's a different accent to my accent. There is like a million accents in the UK, which are all incredibly different.
I have a few sounds which are very American, like the way I do my R's. Like I have the very R.
Yeah. R.
Like I finish my
turned
R's.
into a pirate. What was that?
No, like so. I feel like they would notice I'm not British. They just wouldn't know what I am.
Yeah. What you are?
What am I?
I don't know. Time will see. Time will be the testament, I guess. Time will be the testament. Is that the saying? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway. Let's move back to Theme Park Tycoon 2 right here then. Let's just move back here. We've still got all the viewer asked questions as well. Oh no, Benny. Oh no, they're really bad. I don't know if you've actually had a look at them.
A quick look, yes.
They're horrific. But before we get onto that, guys, we're going to leave that till last because I'm sure you guys are really excited to hear did Josh treat you well on the Europe trip, and does he smell? That's a question everyone's asking and waiting to be answered, isn't it? But before we do, I just wanted to speak a bit about like Force World because it's such an interesting series to me because it's kind of like a kind of a love letter almost to like your to Star Wars. I'd say it's like almost. Yeah, something that you can be very passionate about. Obviously, someone that's really into Star Wars. Like I don't know, just how does it feel to do Star Wars Force World finally?
Well, for me personally, it's very nice. And that would actually be something that I would do even if I didn't have this channel. I feel like I could dead ass just play this game and build this.
Yeah.
Just because I want to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But then at the same time, which is actually very frustrating, is that each video I made has just gotten less views. Like every video I post gets less views than the previous one. Which is not ideal. And so, which I also kind of explain in the video that I'm going to post this Sunday, past Sunday probably for you guys. But I might have to drop it, or at least like finish it, but not entirely on screen. Just kind of do like update videos instead of actually showing everything.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I don't think is a terrible idea because, me and Timon were actually talking about this the other day about like building series or just series in general because he was talking about his dream park that he was working on and about the exact same thing about how every single video kind of drops in views as you go along with the series. Like it kind of happens with every series, doesn't it? But I feel like Force World is kind of
not Movie Park 1
magically somehow. Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, that's true.
End.
But I think that's also because you've kind of like got very drastically different themes. Whereas I think the main problem with series is that once you're kind of past the first episode, people have to watch the previous episode. Then on the third episode, they have to watch the first and second. Otherwise, they can't really be caught up. And although you have like the previously in Benny's Movie Park sort of thing, or previously in Force World, or you get the idea. I feel like they don't want to start watching a series from halfway through, but also they don't want to watch like 15 episodes to catch up with, to actually catch up with what's happening. And I think that's why Movie Park 1 kind of works, because every 5 or so episodes, you're changing entire theme. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people will be like, okay, well, I've missed the first 15 episodes, but he's just started a new area, so it doesn't matter. Like, although I've missed these episodes, like, oh, well, I don't really care as much about, like, Star Wars, so I'm not going to watch those episodes. I'm just going to start when he's actually oh my god, I'm just gonna start watching like when the Harry Potter part starts, so you know, that sort of thing, which I think is why it works well. And I guess that's just why like series like Force World definitely are dropping faster, I think, because although there's different areas of the park, they're all the same thing. They're all Star Wars. I don't know. That's my take on it, actually.
No, for sure. Because if you don't like Star Wars, in the first place, you're not gonna watch the entire thing. My guess is that there are just a bunch of people that don't really care about Star Wars, and so why would you watch an entire series dedicated to Star Wars if you don't care about it?
That's fair enough. I mean, there's kind of like crossover of people that still care about Theme Park Tycoon 2 that'll watch it, but then like, if you literally like just don't care about Star Wars, or like just don't want to watch something that's Star Wars related, then you're just not going to watch it at all, I guess, which is kind of that problem. Whereas again, like Benny's Movie Park, you have like 6 different, 4 or 5, whatever, you know, just different IPs that you're building on, where people can be like, oh well, I'm not as interested in that, but I am interested in this. So,
but then also the themes of Benny's Movie Park were all very, like, even if you don't know Harry Potter or if you don't care about Harry Potter, you see a big castle and you're like, oh, that's a nice looking castle, right? But with Star Wars, you have a few very bleak, boring looking areas, because Tatooine is just one big desert, right? Hoth is just one big snow landscape. There's really nothing there. Endor is just a forest. So if you don't really love it, there's not much there. It's that simple.
Yeah. And as like a casual watcher of like a series like Harry Potter, you know about the Harry Potter castle, or as like or you know about the Death Star or the Millennium Falcon. So I think it's kind of that thing as well, as in Benny's Movie Park 1, you have one main thing like the Harry Potter castle, or you have
the most iconic thing.
Exactly. And people see that and they're like, oh, I know that series. I know it, because it's Harry Potter. Even if you haven't really watched Harry Potter, like just to kind of wrap myself out here, I've never watched any Harry Potter movies ever.
Despicable.
But I still enjoyed it because I know Harry Potter. It has the tree thing, and it has the big castle and like the big hall with all the floating candles. I know that, and you built that, and I saw that, and I was like, oh, okay, I know this actually. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas
that's what you want to have.
Yeah. Whereas Star Wars is like, you've got a couple of things like the Millennium Falcon, the Death Star. You've got like, what else iconic things are there? I guess the TIE fighters, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's a bunch of vehicles and some big structures.
Exactly. But
that sort of stuff.
When unless you actually care about Star Wars, you're not gonna be like, you're not gonna know what Endor is, or you're not, or Tatooine. You're not gonna be like, oh, Tatooine's the desert one. You're not gonna know that really, are you? Like, which I think. Yeah, that is kind of weird. We're basically just like writing a manual here for like any creators who want to make a building series.
Basically, this
here
is
you
very
go.
insightful.
This is what you need to do.
For sure, yeah.
You're welcome, guys. Subscribe.
It's like a free masterclass.
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest. Oh, actually, I did want to ask you about this. I didn't even plan to talk about this, but you've never actually done like a masterclass or like a like a
course.
A course. Yeah. Like you've never done a course, and you kind of plan to maybe do one on your Photoshop channel at some point, didn't you? I remember you talking about that. Do you think you'll ever actually do like either with like an actual course company or website or platform or whatever, or just like by yourself? Do you think you're actually ever going to do something like that?
Before AI became so big, I was going to do it 100%. Now I'm not so sure, because who in this world right now, who is going to want to, like, someone who doesn't have anything to do with Photoshop?
Yeah.
Are there really going to be those kind of people that are like,
Yeah.
Yes, this seems like a great time to learn Photoshop.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Nah. Like the people that do Photoshop now, they're just gonna keep doing it because they love doing it. Like me, I'm gonna keep doing it because I love to, but not because because there's like necessity for it, because there really is not.
Yeah, exactly.
Not as much, at least.
No, not as much.
And so I wouldn't. No, I don't think it's gonna sell very well. There's always a few people, of course, but not enough.
I think also because like I can kind of speak on this subject because I was doing a photography course at college while all of the AI stuff was happening, but I'm still not sad that I did that photography course or that I learned Photoshop, because I think if you are creatively inclined, like if you enjoy creativity, you want to go out and take photos or edit, you'll do it for the passion of it, not for the product. Yeah. But the problem is there's not many people that are there's not a general wide audience. It's not like you can sell it to tens of thousands of people like you can for like a storytelling course or something like or things like that, because the people that want to do that will probably do it in school anyway. Like they'll probably go and do a course in high school or in college or in university, even if, you know, I feel like a lot of people would do that instead. So I see where you're definitely coming from. It's kind of like that thing. Although I think a video editing course from you, I think that would do very, very well. But like you said earlier, it's kind of hard to teach that because you don't know why you do something. You just do it. Yeah.
That too. But also I have really weird ways of doing things sometimes that work for me, but I just know they're not going to work for someone else because actually they make no sense.
Yeah.
Some things I do are just simply not the most efficient way to do it, but I just know to do it that way, so I will continue to do it that way because it works for me. But that's gonna kind of stop me from showing to people how I do certain things.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna look like a dumbass. And it doesn't matter for the end result because the end result is great. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Sometimes you shouldn't know how it was made.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It also comes under like scrutiny as well, because you're like, well, I'm paying for this course. Then people are going to complain, well, actually, there's an easy way to do this. This person said you can do it this way, and this is the proper way to do it. Which, although it might not be the proper way to do it, it still looks just as good, if not better. So it doesn't really matter. But the people who have never used After Effects or Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve or whatever, they're going to be like, oh, well, this person said you can do it this way, and it's easier, so I'm going to do it this way. That's kind of the difficult thing with it, I guess.
For sure.
But I don't know. Although at the same time, it's like I did work experience at an animation company who did a bunch of like stuff like Disney adverts or like that sort of stuff, like very big adverts and animating stuff. And they said the exact same thing. They were like, oh, you're not going to learn too many helpful things because we don't work like a normal company would. Like we don't have the stupid massive hierarchies of like you've got to go through 15 people to talk to the owner. You just talk to the owner, sort of thing, like, you know, the leader.
Yeah.
So it's not realistic in that way, but I still found it very helpful because although that isn't like how most companies do it, bro, when someone goes into a job in that way, it probably will be more like that company was that I went to go do work experience, because you're not going to start working tomorrow. You're going to start working in the next couple of years. So I found that actually quite helpful. I don't know. It was helpful because maybe in the next couple of years, or also working for yourself, I don't have to go report to someone else. I'm self-employed. I report to myself. So it doesn't matter who I report to or who they report to. It was kind of more helpful that way. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But not always doing it the best way is kind of not the worst thing, I'd say.
No, it's fine. As long as you don't teach other people.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. But anyway, we have been recording now for 1 hour and 12 minutes. I don't know how long this finished video is going to be, but I say we kind of wrap it up a little bit here.
Yeah.
But before we do, we've got some lovely questions from the audience. I put a community post out, and I said, guys, what do you want to ask Benny? And I just like to point out, there was like 30 comments. This is a shortened version of that, Benny. These are the cream of the crop. These are the best questions I got. Now, like I said, we've got such great questions of does Josh smell bad? That was a actual question.
Yes, he does.
I put in the Google Doc right here. Does Josh smell bad? Say no or else with a gun emoji next to it in bold. I don't think you read that part, Benny.
Well, that's too bad, because he does. Smells like watered down diarrhea. Like diarrhea already is pretty watery, right?
What the fuck?
But, like water it down even further and like put it in the fridge for like 5 to 6 days.
Are you speaking from experience or something? Have you been refrigerating your diarrhea?
That exact smell, that's what Josh is.
Well, Benny. Well, what can I say back to you? Benny's clapped. There you go. See, the great thing is because like 99.9% of people will never have met you in real life, and they'll never have met me in real life. So we could say anything about each other, and they never know, Benny. See, I could say that. Benny actually walks on all fours. He crawls across the ground like this.
Oh yeah.
He like prances.
That's no secret.
Yeah. He actually gets into like his seat. He just does this. He comes over and he just jumps into his seat like that. He doesn't actually walk like a normal person, guys. And you'll never know if that's true or not.
You'll find that is actually way more efficient that way.
Exactly. I mean, if anything. Sure. Benny's a higher like level of evolution than everyone else watching, so you should start crawling.
I don't want to brag about it, but yeah, I am.
Oh god. Okay, no, but let's ask some of the better ones here. So we've got we've got a question here from Wing Construction who says, "How do you stop yourself going insane from placing rocks?" Which I'm very, very interested about because you do a lot of tedious things.
Here it is.
Yeah.
You don't.
Epic. No, but
you will go insane, and there's no way to stop it. Why do you think I walk on all fours?
Bro is just bored of walking on 2 feet. He was like, I'm doing this different. I'm going insane. But
no, I must say the way I used to do it before the copy and paste tool was a lot more insane. Nowadays, it goes pretty fast. So,
yeah.
That's all right.
That's fair enough. But how do you kind of like, because there's still things that kind of are a bit tedious, even with the copy and paste tool, which helped a lot. But how do you keep on coming back and thinking like, I'm gonna carry on doing this? Because if I was in your place, after the first 2 episodes of placing rocks, I'd fucking quit. I'd be like,
it is obsession.
I guess, yeah.
I have this thing where if I get into something, I don't even need to like it that much, but if I like it enough at a very specific time, then I get just obsessed, and I get into this insane hyper focused thing, and I get it done. And it's very unhealthy, but it does work. So.
No, but I think that happens with a lot of creative people. Like it just kind of, I feel the same. I need to, like, you know, when I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I can't do it, and then when I start doing it, I can't stop doing it. Like it's kind of that.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be painful, but when you start doing it, you're like, okay, well, this is actually not that bad. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I know. I know what you mean in a way.
I had the same exact thing with the making of Fury.
Yeah.
Like for a few weeks, I would like go to bed early so I could wake up earlier in the morning because that's when I'm most productive. So I could work on that. Dinner, I would do as fast as possible just so I could get back to making that video. I get so obsessed with projects like that because it's so, like, I'm just so driven. And then when it's done, I just get out of, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, that happened.
It's like a haze. It's like a haze.
It's really weird. I can't explain it. It's probably really unhealthy, but it's how I work for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So we've got a question here from a couple of people actually asked this, and I already kind of know the answer to this myself, but I feel like some people don't because a lot of people were asking this question, and it's, are you planning to start making tutorials at any point? Theme Park Tycoon 2 or just in general tutorials?
Well, sometimes I make simple Photoshop tutorials.
Yeah.
Every now and then I just drop one out of nothing. Yeah. Even though I always say I don't make tutorials, but sometimes I'm like, yeah, well...
Might as well.
Easy content.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, what can I say? I don't know if I'm going to make Theme Park Tycoon tutorials. I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe.
I think just a lot of people would be very interested in it. That's the thing.
But you're going to have a whole bunch of people that are like, can you do this with not disabled collisions?
Oh my god, yeah, no, bro. I was literally just thinking that. As you start that sentence, I was like, I need to talk about this because as someone who makes tutorials myself, I've made plenty of tutorials in Theme Park Tycoon 2. Oh my god, it pisses me off when people are like, but I don't have disabled collisions. Can you make the tutorial for disabled collisions? Not like no disabled collisions. No. Like,
the whole point of this tutorial is making use of disabled collisions.
Exactly.
Why would I make the same thing without? It would look shit.
It really shouldn't piss me off that much, but it does, because it's like people that watch like videos that I've made in the past, which is like noob to pro, like how to become a pro at building, and it's like it's in the name. You are watching this video to level up in building.
Trying to become a pro.
And become a pro. You can't do that unless you have disabled collisions. You are commenting on a video that is a video going from noob to pro, and you don't have disabled collisions. Like, it's just, it really does annoy me, because it's just common sense.
It's just not for those people.
Yeah, exactly. Like, bro, I'm sorry. If you don't have disabled collisions and you click on the video and you see like, oh, it needs disabled collisions, I'm sorry, but like, just click off the video. Don't comment, but I don't have disabled collisions. There's a lot of people watching this video. I don't care. There's a lot of people.
People don't get that. People don't get that you're an actual person.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's also like the parasocial relationship of like, oh, he's gonna care. I don't give a shit. If you don't have disabled collisions,
dead ass.
Not my problem. Like, I don't really care, to be honest.
I don't know you, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it just really annoys me, because it's kind of self-entitlement of, oh, this person will care. I don't care. Look, if you don't have disabled collisions, fair, but don't complain about it. Yeah, that sort of thing. Anyway, bit of a rant there, but it does annoy me quite a lot. But yeah, so let's move on to the next question here. We've got one from Joseph Martin.
Like this.
Yeah, this is actually a very good question here. What's the #1 update you still want in Theme Park Tycoon 2?
I had a few things. But I must say,
did you write something down for this? Did you
I gotta... No, but I just gotta think of it. Well, first of all, the Ferris wheel and just a few flat rides that need to be redone.
Yeah.
Like the top spin as well. But most of all, the Ferris wheel. I just wanted like a big, majestic Ferris wheel, like a detailed, nice.
Like the one at Wallaby. That's like that.
Yes,
sort of massive.
That's what I need. First of all, most of all.
Yeah.
Then secondly, I had this thing where I was like, oh, that would be great. Yeah, a glass texture for lamps.
Oh my god, Benny! Oh my god,
see-through texture. Like literally just the glass panel, that texture where you can increase the transparency, that sort of stuff, and make it reflective. Like make it nice and reflective, like metal, but just more. That's what I need, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I don't want to make this recording any longer than it needs to be, but we have to talk about the Dennis messages in Fantasia Land. We have to talk about the beautiful photos I sent.
The lamps.
Yeah, the lamps. So, because really we haven't like spoke. I don't think this is like a joke only between me, you, and Timon. I don't think, other than like putting it on my Instagram story, basically.
Yeah, not many people have seen it.
No. But basically, in Fantasia Land, we realized, we were like, oh, it'd be really cool to have a glass texture, or like a glass like piece or whatever, or glass primitives in Theme Park Tycoon 2. So I sent Dennis a message, and he basically, I'll flash up the messages on screen as well. He basically said like, oh, well, if you could send in examples, that'd be very helpful. So, me... So started a trend. Me and Benny posed beautifully, I must say, in front of a lamp in the queue for Taran. We just sent it, Dennis. We just sent it him just with no context,
just
really.
On the spot.
Yeah. I was like, bro, there's no way he doesn't see this, and just starts bursting out laughing. Like, just imagine being a game developer. I've spoken to Dennis copious times. I can't say I've ever just sent him a photo of a random person. Oh, well, not even a random person. Like Benny, who he's definitely aware of you. Like, he knows who you are, obviously. The fact that he just received a random photo of another Theme Park Tycoon YouTuber from a different Theme Park Tycoon YouTuber about a lamp. I just can't imagine. I can't.
Yeah, and that basically then started a chain of several pictures where basically every lamp we saw, every unique lamp design we saw, we just needed to take a picture of it with me pointing at it. Basically, just every picture, like...
Yeah. It means, though, it does mean we've got plenty of references for lamps. If we ever need any references for lamps, we've
100%.
We've got like
library.
30 now. 30 different lamp designs.
Yep.
You know what?
Stuff.
You know what,
top
actually,
of the line lamps.
Yeah. You know what we should do? You know, instead of like selling a course, we just should sell like a library of just photo you pointing to lamps. Just like lamp inspiration. It's just all photos of you pointing to lamps. Genius idea. Good
stuff.
But yeah, no, he basically, he just replied in the normal Dennis way, which I can't believe. If I was a games developer and I received that message, I'd burst out laughing. I couldn't handle it.
Maybe he did. Maybe he probably did. He just composed himself.
He probably did, but he was just being professional. Yeah, I don't see any world in which you receive a message like that and don't fucking burst out laughing. It's just so funny. Oh god, it's amazing. But anyway, what we were talking about the question about the update that you want, and we've somehow gotten onto that. But yeah, is there anything else that you'd still want?
Also, hexagons.
Yeah,
I want
more primitives.
A hexagon primitive.
More primitives in general.
I don't get why it's not there.
No, me neither. And, like a half circle, a half cylinder would be so nice.
Yes.
I can't believe we don't have a half cylinder.
And a half sphere. A half
sphere. That would so nice, like a dome. Oh my god, it'd be perfect. Yes. I don't know why that's not a thing.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It's so simple. I don't know why he's not added it.
It would take zero effort. You can just take existing shapes.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows, Dennis. But one thing that I do personally want, which I want your opinion on, is animatronics. Animatronics would be so sick. Yeah. Even if it's just like Planet Coaster, where it's just like 10 different animatronics wearing 10 different outfits and 10 different like sets things. So you just
even if it's just the most basic thing, just any kind of movement would be fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah. And just having like 1 or 2 animatronics per theme, like having 2 pirate animatronics, even just that. I mean, that's the bare minimum. It'd be great to have more. And what would be absolutely amazing, which I do remember Timon did a video on when it came out. Basically, Roblox released this feature where you can turn like a video of like a person moving into like a rig in Roblox Studio. So it's technically possible to actually make custom animatronics off of a video. Now that'll never really come to Female Titan 2 because that's far too advanced, I think, to be put in a game like Female Titan 2. But if we had something like where you could customize like the hand movements or like the head movements on an animatronic with a sequencer, like you can right now.
Yeah.
That would be so cool. Like having it so like you can make the animatronic look one way, or even also having custom animatronics where like you can set it to your avatar. So making it so that your avatar becomes an animatronic sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
It would open so much customization. That would be so cool. But I don't know. It'll be added at some point.
That is a very ambitious one, though.
It is, yeah. Like I say, I wouldn't mind if it's just normal animatronics, but it would be so cool if we had stuff like that. Like, just imagine. Oh, it would be... It
would be lovely, yeah.
Because no other game is close to that level. Like, Planet Coaster has animatronics as in, like, oh, yeah, it's just a thing that does it. Or, you know, just like 5 different types of animatronics. Here you go, those are them. You can't change them, you can't customize them. But actually customizing them completely on top of all the other tools in Theme Park Titan 2, I really think it would make like the definitive theme park game, especially switch tracks as well, which we really do need switch tracks still.
Yeah,
switch tracks. But I don't know, this is just starting to sound like 1/10 of all of Malabuma's videos, which is just 10 things I want in the next Theme Park Titan 2 update. So let's move on to the next question here. I might skip some of these here because we've got quite a lot of questions here, but I do want to also ask this one here. What's it like running so many different YouTube channels by yourself and them all like being so creative and demanding so much creativity? How do you manage to run them all?
Well, I'm kind of a day-by-day person, so I don't plan ahead too much.
Yeah.
And so some days are great, other days are horrendous.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer for you. I don't know how I do it. I guess I am very passionate about what I do. That helps.
It helps a lot, yeah.
But I have really bad days, yes, where
of course, everyone
don't
does,
know what to make anymore, where I just have complete creative block, and then it seems like all hell's about to...
Yeah.
You know?
I know exactly what you mean, yep.
Like, it is not pretty, but then somehow I always just get a new idea, and then something works again, and then I start working on it again, and then it's fine again.
Yeah. I mean, so that's fair.
It's a very messy process, but yeah.
And it's
terrible answer, but
no, it's a good answer.
It is what it is.
I mean, it's personal to you, isn't it? Like, I mean, that's how you do it, and I feel like that's how most people do it, because unless you have like a massive team, and that's something also that I find surprising about you, is that people that have production levels like you do, they normally have like a producer, or they normally have like an editor, or 2 editors or like a writer, or you know what I mean? They normally have like a team of people behind their videos where it's literally just you. Like, of course you have your manager.
Yeah,
but
I need control.
Exactly. Dude. Yeah. Like you have a manager, but other than that, everything else is just done by you. Like it's just which.
Yeah, my manager only does the financials, like the business stuff,
exactly,
the deals and stuff.
Yeah. So actually, like video creation, you just do it all by yourself, which is kind of insane. Like not many channels do that these days to the level that you do, I feel. But well, I mean, it also kind of links into you being like a jack of all trades as well, because like I don't know, a lot of other channels, like me for example, I couldn't do everything you do, so I'd hire someone else to help me with some stuff. Whereas you just kind of do everything yourself, is what I'm like trying to say. A lot of people need someone else to help with the stuff they can't do, but you kind of, you know After Effects, you know video editing, you know how to like pace a video, you know like how to write a video well, that sort of stuff. And yeah, it helps a lot obviously, but it's also very unique. There's not many people that do that.
Why, thank you, sir.
Oh, yes, no problem. That question we already talked about earlier. Oh, actually, this is a good question, which I don't know how much you're allowed to talk about, really, but how is the Roblox store program? Like, what do you actually think about it? And are you a fan of it? Like, I don't know. What's your opinions on that as someone who's part of it?
I did get sent some really cool Roblox items, like a Roblox mouse and a mouse pad.
All right, nice. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Apart from that, I don't deal with it a lot.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
I use the star code, but yeah, the rest, I mean,
that's fair enough.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's more of a status thing, I guess. It feels nice to be recognized by Roblox, but other than that,
well, I think it's more like like you get the thing on your profile. And that, like,
exactly.
But I feel like that's more relevant to you than like, oh, I make money when people buy Robux with my code, or like, oh, look, I
I get 100%. It's more about the fact that you're in the Star program rather than.
It's like becoming verified on YouTube, isn't it? It's like being recognized and also being distinguished. Like people know it's you. They know you're the official you, sort of thing. I guess. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yep. That's fair enough. We've got a question here from 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗀𝘀 who says, "What is the meaning of life, Benny?" I'm just gonna let you answer this one. What's the meaning of life?
I don't think there's meaning to life. You have to make your own meaning. The meaning of life is a different thing for every single person, and you need to find your own meaning because there is none. There's no objective meaning to life, in my opinion. So you need to find your own.
Need to put that on like an inspirational like Tumblr post or something.
Well, some people might find it very depressing, but I don't think there is meaning to life. So you have to make it mean something for yourself.
Well, yeah, there's one quote which I really liked from a YouTuber called 𝗟𝗶𝘀𝘁𝗀𝘀. I can't remember the exact quote off the top of my head, so I'm just going to paraphrase right here. But it's like, life's short, but it's the longest thing you'll ever do. So you might as well make the most of it. Like,
exactly. You only get one shot.
Exactly. Too. Yeah. And it's like, it also kind of links into like death, which is a bit deep for this video, but it's kind of like that thing of like, it also is like, if you're scared of like death or stuff like that, it's like, yes, it's very scary that one day you'll die, but it feels like life is short, but bro, it is the longest thing you'll ever do. So just keep at it. Just do it. You know, there's no like special meaning. There's no special thing, but you're going to keep doing it because it's the longest thing you'll ever do. So keep doing it. I don't know. I just feel like that's a very like inspirational quote or like an inspirational thing to live by. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I always quite like that quote. But yeah, we have one last question right here from the viewers, which I think is possibly the most important, the most deep, the most, everyone's been waiting for this question to be asked. Benny, are you feeling a little bit thirsty?
Am I?
Oh God!
Did you know I never drank from this mug before ever.
Really?
It's been on my desk.
Oh, is it not a bit dusty like?
What?
Is it not a bit dusty like?
Well, I did just wash it off a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say you've just like drunk about 19,000 body cells. Like,
no. I did wash it out just now.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Lovely stuff.
Okay, well, with that, thank you very, very much for being on, Benny. I appreciate you coming here, especially for the first ever episode. It's always a bit daunting because, like, you don't know what you're fucking coming on to, seeing as there's no one. I've never done one of these before, but so thank you very much for coming on and agreeing to join this video.
My pleasure, bruv.
Would you like to? I'm gonna say, would you like to shout out anything, as if like I'm the big crate here? I'm just helping out the little guys.
Well, subscribe to Benji's Adventures and subscribe to Benny Productions.
Yeah.
And I want to thank my mom. And no, I don't know. Yeah, thank you for having me. And
no problem. It's been great having you. I appreciate it very, very much, Benny. Yeah, go subscribe to Benny. His links will be down below. And do you have any closing words there, Benny Han? Benny, has anyone ever told you kind of wear your thought process on your face?
Yep. Yes.
I could just see like the cogs spinning in your head, and you're just like, what do I say? Is that those your last words then? Yeah.
I suppose so. Yes. Yep. Goodbye. Have a great life, and life has no meaning.
Great. Okay. I'm just gonna end the video. I'm just gonna end the video on life has no meaning.